Namathu Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zim, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha.
Video. You can't see video. Oh.
It is there. It is there. It is there. Video is on. Video is on. No problem.
Alright. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, man.
Thank you. Okay. So, Namathu Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zim, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And their respected venerable monks, Mahasangha, especially my respect goes to most venerable Dr. Rahul Bodhi, whom I've known for a long time, and I met him in 2014 in one of the International Buddhist Conference, Lumbini, Nepal, where the Buddha was born. And also would like to express my Vandana to Venerable Pragyadeep, who is the Secretary of All Indian Bhikkhu Sangha. I never met him, but I have heard about him a lot. And meanwhile, I also would like to extend my respect to Venerable Seewalee, who was giving a talk early on, whom I met him long time ago in Buddhagaya, who was co-host for the World Buddhist Sangha Youth Conference, where I met him, and he was so wonderful. And I've been following him as well. And meanwhile, would like to express my respect to all the Venerable Mahasangha who are present here. And also would like to thank you, this webinar organizer, the Voice organization, for inviting me to be part of this international webinar on Buddhism and social transformation. And also, in the meanwhile, I would like to express my thanks to Venerable Chandra Bodhi, who again gave this opportunity to contact and be part of this webinar. Okay, so first of all, I must say that it's been about 10 years that I haven't been actively engaging any Ambedkarite Buddhist movement at all, whether it's in India or whether it's in the UK or other parts of the world. But this is again a great opportunity to be part of you all in this great webinar to celebrate the Diksha Day, or the or so-called Dharma Chakra Pravartan Day, when the Babasaheb Ambedkar converted to Buddhism. And that is a Diksha Day. Yeah? Diksha itself means a beautiful ceremony to convert yourself from misery to happiness. Yeah? From misery to happiness, that Diksha of transforming yourself towards something better. And that's what Babasaheb Ambedkar did on the day of 14th of October 1956. And he very cleverly chose the day known as Vijaya Dasami. Vijaya means the winning. Yeah? The day of winning. And the day when the King Ashoka converted to Buddhism. So this Babasaheb Ambedkar is such a wonderful guy, wonderful man, who has a very good intelligence and found different ways not only to develop his personality but also give to the whole world. In the sociology, there is a saying that if you want to transform society, you have to have 3 elements. First element you have to have a person or individual voice to raise concern about deficiencies, about injustice. And then that news or that issue needs to be broadcast and needs to be spread around. And after that, if we can make it political issue, then it's become a vast. It will spread around in the country or in the citizens. But in order to have a success in that agenda, we have to have an organizations to back up and continuously working with that theme. And what this is, that you have to have a political agenda to do that. And this is what Babasaheb Ambedkar did. He raised the voice. He raised the voice of inequality, injustice, and with that, he make it as a political, and then later on, he organized it as the different organizations to back it up. So, Babasaheb Ambedkar is undoubtedly a great person that we should think about and always take on board. When we look at the Buddha's teachings, what we see is that when the Upali, a low-caste barber, wanted to become a monk along with the other prince from the Sakya clan, the Buddha ordained barber Upali first, so that the all the princes will not request him for any services even after they become a monk. And Buddha cleverly changed, giving low-caste barber Upali to be a monk first, so that all the prince will pay respect. And with this, Buddha transformed the social conditions that were there, changed the way people looked at it, and even the prince and Brahmins looked at it in that way. And this Upali, taking that opportunity, not only he raised himself in this new form of a social conditions, but he himself became so learned that later he become the reciter of all the Vinaya, and as well as reviewer of the Vinaya. So that's how Buddha transformed, by giving a diksha. And obviously, I feel very fortunate enough to know Babasaheb Ambedkar very closely after I came to UK and worked with the Punjab Buddhist Society in 2005. And at that time, under the guidance of Venerable Chandra Bodhi, I had an opportunity to converse with so many Ambedkarite Buddhists in UK as well as in Canada and other parts of the world, and particularly in Punjab, where Venerable Chandra Bodhi initiated establishing a temple. It's called Takshila in Ludhiana. With that, it gave me such an opportunity to learn and have a close contact with this movement. And I realized that over this 60 years of the time, what Babasaheb did have been changed so many millions of people's life. When we look at it, before the Babasaheb came, people were living underprivileged. Millions of people killed, raped, and no access to the water, no access to the education, no access to the economical upliftments. But when the Babasaheb came, after he established himself and well educated, he did not keep for alone himself, but he worked selflessly, tirelessly for the upliftment of the people of India. He himself became a well-educated, probably one of the most educated Indians ever been until now. And despite of he was born such an unprivileged and low caste, and yet he was able to lift himself from that. I normally think of him as a lotus flower which blossoms, because every lotus flower has its roots in mud, which is dirty. But Baba Sahib rose like a lotus flower, and he blossomed in the midst of that darkness and brought light to millions of peoples in India. After painstaking fight with a religion, culture, tradition, and even the tradition that banned him along with his people and treated him badly, like less than an animal, or like not regarded as a human. But he rose like a morning sun with a dignity and a freedom. He was the sun to bring light and freedom for millions of people. He worked selflessly for the freedom of a people and fighting for the equal human rights. Because of him, millions of people got an opportunity, access to the basic education, economy, politics, you just name it. And now you can see millions of people have transformed themselves from this deprived situation to such a wonderful careers. Doctors, many nurses, many lawyers have we found today. What we must remember that Baba Sahib did first thing was the education. He spent a lot of time educating himself. And after he is fully educated, he used those knowledge for the good and happiness of his fellow members. And with that, he agitated for the freedom of all. And after that, before he died, he mentioned saying that if you can take this vehicle forward, do it. But if you can't, do not fall it. Leave it at that time, at that place. So that's why what we need to think is our personal development as well. And then when we develop ourselves by conducting a good and an ability to give a good advice to others, and then ability to guide people to the right path, and then ability to protect all our people. And with that, what will happen is that it brings that we become a part of this change in the social service, in society. And that will transform the society in a good way. But what we need to remember here, when we are we are working in a society, we should not harbor any anger towards one another. We have to work very kindly, as the Baba Sahib said. Secondly, we have to speak right speeches, not wrong. As the Buddha said, know truth as the truth and untruth as untruth. So telling these facts. When we put the facts into the community, they will follow rightly. And the last one, building the good relationship with one another. And that is the most important part of this transformation, of social transformation. In my conclusion, what I want to say that we all take a diksha. Diksha means we are changing from old custom, old traditions, old culture to the new tradition, new culture, new form of a religion. But what I have noticed that despite we changed, we keep our surname is still the same. My humble request to all the venerable monks that whenever you are giving a conversion to all our friends and our members, our people, change their surname into the Buddhist as well, so that they can leave behind all those past memories. Now we change to Buddhism, but we still have this tail hanging that which caste you belong to. We have to take that tail cut off as well. And that we can do by giving a new surnames according to the Buddhism. And that is my suggestion to all of you. What we need to know overall, that first, learn. Second, practice. And then the third, be a good citizen. And that when you're working not for the only benefit of yourself, but benefit for others as well. And then not only the benefit of others, you have to think, as the Buddha said, it should be beneficial for oneself, others, and then the both. So I will end here for this talk. And thank you everyone for organizing, and thank you everyone for coming to listen to this short Dhamma talk. I will end here with blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. May you all be well and happy, and may take this Diksha Day as a form of transforming yourself into the new form, new society, new culture, new days, new forms. Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Most Venerable M Sujano from Scotland.
Thank you.
He delivered wonderful, very nice speech, covered many important points of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's life, and as well as the present scenario also he explained.